So what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are today doing another Q&A by my good old friends fans. And today's Q&A comes from Vikram and Angela, which we'll get to soon. But just wanted to remind you of two things. One, that Sam Jeppy is going to be here next week doing a lesson on astrological compatibility and horoscope matching. And this time we're doing something unique, something that was suggested by one of my Facebook fan page. His name is Robert, and he suggested, like, hey, what if you have all these astrologers who come on the channel did like a horoscope reading of one of your fan bases? So this is what I did this time. Sam is going to pick. Well, I'm going to pick. Actually, did pick somebody on Facebook. See, this is why you gotta like my Facebook, because I announced these things ahead of time. So on my Facebook, I had a contest that, hey, if you got my book, Conjunctions at the Speed of Light, you can send me an email of you and your spouse or your girlfriend and boyfriend, and Sam will do a compatibility live on Google Plus, which will be aired on YouTube. So I had a contest. A lot of people sent me their stuff. So I'm actually going to be picking. I haven't chosen yet. I'm going to be picking live on through my cell phone, not live, but through my cell phone, where I'm going to just go into my email and close my eyes with my phone towards the computer, and I'm just going to go, la, 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 la. Oh, that's the winner. So this way, you guys will be able to see that who I'm picking. But anyway, that's going to be happening this week sometimes, probably Wednesday or Thursday. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about is that on Friday when I came back from Vegas, I really wanted to just go into meditation mode, transcendental meditation, and just get myself rid of this negative energy of Vegas that I just couldn't stand. And in doing so, I kind of ran into a bit of a panic, because I think I was reaching that Kundalini energy again. Like, I was in a meditative state, reciting a mantra and imagining that all the chakras are activated, like light bulbs activated. And so while doing that, my body started rocking like this. And it wasn't anything like light. It was like this. Like 2 minutes more and I would have fell off my asana. Like, it was really like, I was just like, what's going on? Because I turned the lights off too when I meditate. And it's a dark room because I just want to feel nothing but myself. And I got panicked. I called my girlfriend. I'm like, I got to tell you, this just happened. And she's like, well, you're experiencing Kundalini again, because she has had the same similar experience back in 2005 or 6, and this is one of the stage. And I experienced this one other time with Guru Sayang in 2008 or 9, forgot when, but this was like reaching in a very intense state, and I just got panicked. So you better be careful what you wish for when you say, oh, you want to experience Kundalini, because a lot of people I've known who have panic attacks and anxiety ever since they were partially awakened from Kundalini. And remember, you cannot be fully awakened from Kundalini unless you have a guidance of a guru who is there with you, in front of you, giving you a certain mantra, a certain way of doing it. You can't just do this on your own, because if you're stuck in that halfway limbo, man, it can be, bad for your mental state. So that's one of the things that I was experiencing, and I don't know where it was going, but it was just intense. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to our questions. The first questions come from Vikram, and Vikram says that, what if an exalted planet's dispositor is debilitated? Which pretty much means that if your Venus is exalted in Pisces and Jupiter is in Capricorn, debilitated, how is Venus acting? Well, Venus is going to become weak, okay? Because remember, Venus is sitting in a home, and the landlord of that home is Jupiter. Just like Juan Paul Manley said, that the landlord sets the rules for how the Venus is going to act. So if landlord is in a bad situation, debilitated, Venus is not going to be feeling comfortable being exalted. It's going to be on a weak foundation, like one more step and it'll go into the ice. That's how Venus will feel. But this is halfway analysis, because what you gotta understand is this, okay? What you really have to know is that the dispositor is going to be forming a yoga, okay? So even if your Venus is exalted and Jupiter is debilitated, however, if that Jupiter has the Digbala, meaning directional strength, and it's forming either Dhan Yoga or Raj Yoga or Parivartan Yoga, then that Jupiter is becoming strong. If that Jupiter is receiving a Neej Bhang Raj Yoga, that Jupiter is becoming strong. So even though your Jupiter is debilitated, the Dispositor, it's still forming a yoga where he's becoming strong. So that means the exalted Venus is going to experience fulfillment of its desires. See, what Venus, when a planet is exalted and the Dispositor is weakened, either by yoga or by placement, then it's not able to fulfill its destiny as an exalted planet. So let's say Venus was exalted, okay? Jupiter was in Cancer, but Jupiter was forming a Arishta Yoga, meaning yoga for misfortune. Then what happens is Venus is going to get results of that misfortune. It's going to give half its good results and mostly it's going to be very tough negative results. This is how you judge. You can't just say, oh, Mars is debilitated, Sun is exalted. Oh yeah, your Sun is bad. Your Sun Dasha is going to be bad. No. Look at the Nakshatra Lord. If that's exalted or if that's in its good sign, look at the Dispositor. If the Dispositor, even though it's niche, is it in Kendra? Is it forming a Raj Yoga? Is it forming a Dhan Yoga? Is it forming a Parivartan Raj Yoga? Then that weak Dispositor is becoming strong. And this is how you judge that, oh, your Dasha is going to be good, even though Dispositor is debilitated. So always use these methods when you're determining, how your Dispositor is. Then the next question from him is, can we consider Ascendant Lord a Yogakaraka for Ascendant which don't have real Yogakaraka? Which pretty much like if for Pisces Ascendant, for Pisces Ascendant Jupiter as a Yogakaraka. No, you can't. Yogakaraka is only for the planets that control the Kendra and Trikona houses for themselves. But remember this, see, people forget these things. That for Virgo Ascendant, people have something called Kendrapati Josha, where Jupiter is becoming the lord of the two Kendra houses, so to speak. And then I see a lot of people who also get into this misconception that, oh, Mercury is also a Kendrapati Josha because it's controlling the Ascendant, which is a Kendra, and the 4th house, or the 10th house. Okay. So for Virgo Ascendant, Mercury is ruling the Ascendant and the 10th house. So, it is in the Kendrapati Josha, which is not. Because remember, Ascendant is also a Trikona house. So if for Virgo Ascendant, Mercury is also the lord of Kendra and Trikona. However, it's not a Yogakaraka because it's also controlling a dual house, which is Kendra and Trikona. So it's not considered a Yogakaraka. But it's still a very strong planet because it is a part of that Yogakaraka house. So it's not a Yogakaraka, but it's close enough to it. However, you can say it's a true Yogakaraka. That's only when, like for Cancer Ascendant, Mars rules the 10th house and 5th house, the actual true Trikona and Kendra. All right, so that's how you would determine that. Then Angela asks, how many lives do we as humans live on Earth on average? Can you tell how many lives someone has lived by their chart? Okay, there is a way to tell, but it's only able to tell how many previous, like 2-3 lives you have lived. But in order to, first of all, you have lived millions of lives. You must have started from an insect, and because of your deeds, what you did, you became a human. Okay. But the only way to determine how many lives you have truly lived, it requires intuition, a gift by this universe, a gift by God, where people and these yogis have these powers to forget a chart. They'll just know who you are by looking at you, how many lives you have lived, who were you in the past life. I don't have that knowledge because I don't have that kind of a high intuitive power, and neither I don't want to know. Well, so what if I was a dog like 10 lives before? Maybe that's why I love Yash so much. That's why I love dogs so much. It's not necessarily important, but it's there in the Vedas. They say you have lived lots of, like, hundreds and thousands of lives to become a human. So take advantage of that, not disadvantage. Then she asks, does the planet have Large area of cosmic influence. Rumor has it Africa is Leo and Europe is Virgo. Is there any truth behind it? No, there's no truth behind it. No, US is not Cancer and Africa is not Leo. Stop reading articles that are just written by anybody who just wants to make things up and write them. No, there's nothing like that. Okay. Now, during your birth, of course, it'll show that Sun was on Africa or Saturn was in Hawaii. Remember when Dr. Dennis Harness came and he did I forgot the name. I always pronounce it wrong. It's called astrotopography, I believe, or estography. I'll look at the name and I'll put it in the annotation. But those are the things you can do. So during your birth, you can look at your chart, say, okay, my sun is exalted, but it's placed over Africa or during the longitude and latitude. That means if you move to Africa, you will become a leader there. This is how you're able to determine where you should live, where you shouldn't go. Then she asked, last question, couple, can you guess certain aspects about people's astrology just by looking at them or talking to them? If so, how do you do it? Of course, you can look at a person who may have a really thick nose and really thick eyebrows who have this cut in the top, and you can judge, okay, they might be Capricorn ascendant. So yeah, you can look at a person's face and you can see what ascendant they are. They have that eggy, little heavy oval shape. You can look at them, oh, they're Cancer ascendant. But that requires a lot of chart reading of in person. You have to do in-person reading of like at least 1,000 people to know, like, oh yeah, this guy is a Sagittarius ascendant. This guy's an Aries ascendant. This is how you would determine all these things. Okay? So guys, this was my little questionnaires and answers for fans Q&A. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to learn about astrology and conjunctions and how to study your chart, check out the link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light and Conjunctions at the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.